Good morning, this is Drew with Auditing Reno 911. I'm going to a Washoe County Council meeting. Gonna go talk in public comments about drunk driving.
Take those with you.
I'll just take it over.
Oh, so I'm probably gonna have to move them.
No, you're good. Oh, you want me to go off?
No.
See, am I gonna buzz here?
You'll probably be fine. You can come down.
We'll see if I buzz. Gotta protect.
You're all good. Go
Gotta protect everybody. Oh, there's a few people here today. Hi there.
Are you doing public comment?
I am. If I could fill out a slip, that would be great.
So we're the Silver State Ice. This should become the Silver.
There's a place to write here.
I know that's not my ears. And I know there's people from the state that
Go ahead and take that corner. I'll hold
Okay.
please. So we need to let them know we are the Silver State.
Good morning. I'd like to call this Board of County Commissioners meeting to order. It is 10 o'clock. We will start with a salute to the flag, and I see Eric O'Leary in the audience, if he can lead us in the salute.
The United States of America, Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice for all. I just want public comment.
Okay, the first one?
Yeah, since we have two again.
We do. And
That was so kind of her.
first name,
Is Drew.
Drew, and last name, I'll
Just
put
Drew.
you in as Drew.
Yep, just Drew. I'm good.
Assistant District Attorney Nathan Edwards. Here. And Jan Joseph, here and you have a form. Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. Before we move into the invocation, I just want to note some items that we will be, excuse me, moving on the agenda. We will be moving item number 6 before item number 22 on the agenda. That is the election of chair and vice chair. If we have a change today, I want to make sure that the new chair
The full
can run
audience.
a full meeting and that there isn't any change mid-meeting. And we also have a closed session, item 17, that we will do during our lunchtime. More than likely, we will be taking a lunch break from noon to 1 o'clock. And we have a public hearing set no earlier than 1 o'clock. So just so folks have that information, we will now move into the invocation. Today we have Mr. Jason Miller. Come on in.
Thank you for letting us here. My name is Jason. I am an organizer and founder of Reno Satanic, and I'm here to give the invocation today. Let us begin. In nomine Dei Nostris, Satanis, Luciferi Excelsi, in the name of the eternal rebel against tyrannical authority, in the spirit of your nature of the natural world, the freedoms of thought and expression, unprejudiced intellectual inquiry, economics and social progress, to bring influence and guiding actions of nobility and justice to the decisions made in this chamber today, to act with might in the undertaking of responsibility that may lay ahead of this body before us today. The new age is dawning that these decisions will play a role in. For our liberation, for here and now is our day of joy. Here and now is our opportunity. May we seize this glorious day and its enchanting nights to celebrate the wonders of the natural world, as we are all part of its boundless mysteries. In the spirit of the unconquerable sun, the bringer of light and knowledge, we say, Shem Ham Farash, Hail Satan.
Okay, Madam Clerk, we will now move to public comment, item number 4. I'm sorry, Mr. Manager, please lead us into item number 4, public comment.
Madam Chair,
Could you please direct the clerk to note that Commissioner Andriola left the dais, like you usually do when I leave the dais? Thank you.
Thank you. So noted. Thank you.
Item 4 is public comment. Comment heard under this item will be limited to 3 minutes per person and may pertain to matters both on and off the commission agenda. The commission will also hear public comment during individual action items with comment limited to 3 minutes per person. Comments that are made to the commission as a whole, virtual public comment eligible when facilities are available.
Thank you very much. Welcome, Madam Clerk.
Good morning, it's odd being on this side of this. So we're gonna start this off with our Silver Slate Drive and our winners of the drive. So since 2012 or probably beyond, the clerk's office has conducted a charity drive for the food bank of Northern Nevada. Each year, we compete departmentally to see who can collect the most per employee items for the Silver Slate. It's a friendly competition among departments, and the winners are awarded the Silver Slate Trophy.
Beautiful.
Started with Amy Harvey, went through Nancy Parent, and now it's our turn. So we had 8 departments compete this year. The Recorder's Office, the ROV, Human Services, District Attorney, Human Resources, Public Guardian, and the Public Administrator. Here are some of our setup. We pick a different theme pretty much every year, so we did snowman this year. And so here's a little video from the day we did setup. I think we started with 17 barrels. And then the food bank came and picked them all up. So it's time to announce the winners. So if we can have the Public Guardian's Office and the District Attorney's Office come forward, please. The Silver Slate this year goes to the Public Guardian's Office with 43.31 points. So that's 43 items per employee. So Tracy Bowles is accepting the award. And then we do have to mention that the District Attorney's Office contributed about half of the total contribution. So we would like to recognize the DA's office as well. So the county employees contributed over 4,500 pounds of food, which is about a 50% increase, and we hear from the Northern Nevada Food Bank that this is probably the largest group donation this year. And there's the total points, and I'm running out of time. So thank you to all of our participants, and congratulations. It's a win-win for everybody.
Oh, wow. Thank you for your leadership to the DA's office and Public Guardian's office. That's incredible. I don't know if folks want to take a picture. Okay. Can they come in here and we can all maybe try to get in the picture? Come on in. Thank you so much. Yeah, maybe we just all.
I know. They're in the country.
Okay. We might need some of this to come over here. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Shoot a couple. All right, thank you.
Thank you. What a feel-good way to start the meeting with public comment. We will go to the next commenter, Madam Clerk.
Tom Green, followed by Gordon Gossage.
Well, I gotta follow the positive, so I'll try to be as positive as I can. The cowards left the room, so let's start there. It's rather appropriate that the invocation was given by Satan's evil one. We know there's a struggle for the soul of this nation, a struggle between light and dark, a struggle between good and evil. This fight occurs at every level of the nation, so why wouldn't it be happening in Washoe County? These liars, they represent the deceit we see today across this nation. They represent man's desires to fulfill every sinful want that comes along. The patriots in this country who follow Jesus renounce Satan and all of his works. We represent light, righteousness, and truth. I want to segue into comment for the commission today. As this commission teeters towards darkness, towards the wokeness that Satan so loves, we must call it out when we see it. Gene Herman, 82 years old, 1 year older than Joe Biden. At least 2 of you voted for Joe Biden, probably 3 of you, and you'll vote for him again if he makes it to November. This man at that age apparently has your confidence. While he's at home getting warm milk and a blankie for the night, Gene's breaking ice for the horses. While Joe is shuffling along the beach every weekend, Gene is moving the cows. While Joe is getting his Botox treatment, Gene is up before first light tending to the farm. Gene represents grit, she represents dirty hands and clean money. Gene has gotten here on her own. She isn't bought and paid for by the likes of DiLoretto, Carano, Tolles, name them. Gene's been on this dais for, 9 years. Yeah, she's hard to hear sometimes. She lacks some tech skills. But the commission has gladly exploited that to keep her on the sidelines. You guys boxed her out of the RSCVA spot because Mayor Hillary didn't want her on there because God knows we got to get Bob Lucy back in there. So she's the vice chair. Why should this even be a debate? She should be next in line. She deserves it. If something were to befall the chair, she assumes the chair for a period of time. So why is she not being prepped to be the chair regularly? You surely would not select Mayor Luce. Apparently, you're afraid of your own shadow, and I don't think you've ever even spoken to Mike Clark, which to me is clear evidence of low character and a lack of confidence. So I would end with this. I think it's disappointing when I see a bunch of sheriff's deputies down here at the behest of, I'm assuming the chair, through the sheriff, wasting time because a bunch of people like me show up. Do I look dangerous to you? Do I look dangerous? I don't feel dangerous. I feel like just a normal guy here redressing my government and my concerns. So Gene needs to be the chair, and we need to renounce Satan. Thank you.
Gordon Gossage, followed by Pete Todoroff.
For the record, I'm Gordon Gossage. I want to serve on the library board because whether I agree with all elected and appointed leaders and all neighbors and all issues, I want to do my part to emphasize cooperation rather than conflict as 2024 unfolds. We can agree to solve the problem of our library desert in Sun Valley and co-create a library specializing in Spanish language materials. We can work with the leaders of our rodeo to co-create an extensive Western heritage collection. Our board service should primarily help our director achieve organization goals. We should provide a sounding board for ideas, analyze alternatives, provide public support, and respond to the director whenever asked to timely perform requested contributions of high quality. I have specific experience managing librarians. After my software company went public, I bought out my father's partner and then ran the firm, providing corporate libraries with staffing, online research, and we also did executive search for public libraries. And I have 47 years of experience managing startup and rapidly growing software and web-based companies. I use this experience participating on a board of the International Institute of New England for 10 years. Their mission is to resettle refugees and help all immigrants to succeed. For the past 5 years at Regenesis Reno, I've combined my business skills and passion for social justice to focus on community and stakeholder engagement. I've been an active participant in social media professionally and personally since 1998. I understand the need to balance facts, logic, and emotion to engage in civil conversation with readers. I've recently used my skills online and off to support the library team as they navigate the controversies swirling around gender fluidity and other issues igniting the worst traits of our neighbors. I am familiar with online attacks. I investigated stock promotion fraud by Russian oligarchs. They hired the leading black hat social media agency in New York to silence me with harassment online and death threats. Executives running another stock scam filed a lawsuit to silence me. They failed. I understand the pressures faced by elected and appointed leaders. As many of you know who are listening to me now, attacks become very personal. I assure you there is nothing anyone can throw at me that will prevent me from serving my full term as a library board trustee. I assure all of you and all of our neighbors, we will seek common ground for issues at the library. Our library is our community.
Thank you.
Pete Todoroff, followed by Pam Dar.
Hello, my name is Pete Todoroff. I'm an 80-year-old Vietnam veteran and had an appointment on Friday, the 12th of January at 1 o'clock in the afternoon at the VA hospital. I went on the freeway, which was a mess. It wasn't plowed. Mind you, it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I arrived at the VA hospital in the parking lot and went on Kerman Avenue. Kerman Avenue was a skating rink. After all the money I paid for fuel tax, I was appalled at how bad that Kerman Avenue was an ice skating rink. As you can see, I have a cane. The person behind me had a walker with an oxygen tank. It was an ice skating rink. Mind you, this is 1 o'clock in the afternoon that my appointment was. I can't believe that at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, there was no plow there. Remind you, I was a Vietnam veteran, and not a plow was hit. And I know everybody says, thank you for your service. Really? Thank you for our service? Really? Thank you. That's the first part. Since I am a Vietnam veteran, we lost 58,000 American lives over in Vietnam. I received my Vietnam Republican mail-in ballot. I recognized two names on there. Nikki Haley and Mike Pence. The rest of the names, I don't even recognize. None of them. I didn't see Trump. I didn't see anybody else's name on there. I didn't recognize any other person's name on there. Why wasn't Trump on there? He won Iowa 99%. Where was Trump's name? Thank you.
Thank you.
Pam Dar, followed by Terry Brooks. And I have documents to distribute for Ms. Dar.
Good morning. Sorry, a little raspy this morning. Good morning, Chairman Hill and fellow commissioners. Thank you for your time. I'm distributing letters of something that's been brought to my attention, the attention of the 3 U.S. senators, which is regarding one of the letters that's being handed out, and 31 congressmen. I've now heard that in Utah, the treasurer and the attorney general is reaching out to other treasurers and attorney generals in regards to BLM land, our land. Under the term conservation, they're trying to lock down all our land, also creating NACs, natural asset companies. This is a Rockefeller Foundation. They basically want to have it on the stock exchange and sell our natural resources and lock it away from us, the American citizens. That's what I understand. There's a lot to absorb. If you go into the website where Margaret Byfield, the Executive Director of American Standards of Liberty, so it's americanstandard.us, you can find a lot of resources and a lot of information that should concern everybody in the state. We enjoy our open space, the multi-use. We don't want international companies managing what is ours. That belongs to us. We should have say on it. It should be under our control as a country and as a state. So I just want you to be aware of it. It's out there, it's up in Congress, it's being brewed together, and it's very important to all our lives. Your kids, their kids, we love our open space. That's why a lot of us moved here. The second thing is, I didn't really care for that prayer. We really don't need that. It's negative to the positive. I really don't like people saying when it's sunny out, it's raining, and that's what evil brings. I disagree with that prayer. Just want to say that on the record. And then I understand that Jeannie Herman wants to be chair. My brother was a politician for many years, and I'm like, why was it you were always the chair? And he said no one wanted it. So for someone to show interest, good for you, Jeannie. You go, girl. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Terry Brooks, followed by Robert Beatles.
Good morning, it's me, Terry Brooks again, and today I'd like to address the problem of poor health as related to homelessness. When the coronavirus came, it challenged people's endurance. Some people not only lost their jobs, they also lost their health insurance. And many of them lost their homes, and in addition, they experienced a lack of healthy food and lost their good nutrition. Having poor nutrition can lead to poor health too. And then the coronavirus you will become more susceptible to. When you lose your health insurance, you may lose access to medication. And when you lose your home, you may lose access to sanitation. You cannot call your doctor if you don't have a phone for communication. And you may not make it to the hospital if you don't have means for transportation. But when the making of the coronavirus vaccines had begun, they were available in so many places that they were near to everyone. So not only did everyone have access to the vaccination, but anyone also had access to free transportation. All of these things together would mean that anyone and everyone got access to the vaccine. And not only that, but getting the vaccine was free. That made it available to even the likes of me. When it was said that the vaccine would work, so many people believed it, and it was so easily available that many people around here received it. And it took a while, but finally, we got what we were hoping. After for so long, so many places that had been closed, then were finally open. I would like to thank you all for listening to me today, and I look forward to seeing you, because I got a lot more to say.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. Great to hear from you.
Robert Beatles, followed by Susie Howell.
Good morning. Please put all my comments on the public record. Robert Beatles, Reno, Nevada. Wow, that prayer, it explains a lot. And let me first say that none of these comments are directed towards Mike Harker and Jeannie Herman. That prayer, wow, it explains a lot. It really does. You know, we have a lot of questions. We see a lot of evil happening in this county. We see 4 of you doing things that just don't make sense to, sound Christian folks that want the best for pretty much everybody in the county. The prayer says a lot. So at least we know who you are. At least you admitted it. Thank you. Now, a lot of people call me the bad guy up here not because I do bad, but because I'm one of those guys that point out the bad that a lot of you do. I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared to speak truth to power, just like with Eric Brown. I have no idea why he's our county manager. I have no
Please
idea.
direct your comments to the full.
Oh, I am. This is the full board. I'm speaking directly to you and everybody else. I have no idea why Eric Brown, I expect my time back. I have no idea why Eric Brown is still our county manager when he has over and over again shown issues such as driving drunk for sport across the entire county. We have multiple witnesses. How is that allowed? How is that not condoned by this board? How is him and Bethany Drysdale taking the election integrity resolution from Jeannie Herman, the GA analyzing it, saying, hey, look, this looks fine. And then Bethany Drysdale goes out, gets on the record on This Is Reno and says things like, oh, it looks like it's illegal. It looks like it's right-wing rhetoric. It looks like it's the 2020 Stop the Steal type stuff. What are y'all scared of? Why aren't you guys putting that on the agenda today? It should be up there. You guys have no problem putting all your handlers, pork and all their favors right there on the agenda and voting to exploit we the people every single meeting, just handing out our money and handing out favors to your handlers. Why can't you do something good for the folks here and give them solid elections? It's very simple. We also see Brown doing things like bringing in out-of-state corporations to run our elections who aren't even registered in the state of Nevada to work until just recently. Take, what's the newest one that he's got now? It's something Rose Strategy Rose or something like that. Yeah, they just on January 4th finally got a license to work here, but how long have they been working here? I have no idea what's going on here and why this is being tolerated. Additionally, you see people like the Register of Voters. This is our fourth one. I know you guys say it's been 3, but it's actually been 4. I have video where you got Rodriguez and Carmen both saying that they're ROVs. Now you have this Carrie Ann. She may be the nicest gal in the world, but she's certainly not qualified to be our Register of Voters. So why is it that you guys are rubber stamping somebody that's unqualified for the most important job in the county? It makes no sense. And the fact that none of you are calling for Brown's resignation or to terminate him says a lot about you personally. It doesn't say much about him because we all know who he is. So why don't you guys grow a spine and do what's right and get rid of Brown?
You heard your night was asleep all the time.
Still sleeping off last night's name.
Good morning. To follow up with Mr. Beatles, the invocation this morning gave a new meaning to the term public servants. Looking at a few of them. Anyway, you're bound and determined to keep our elections stolen, rigged, you name it. And isn't it amazing that last night's caucus, on paper, hand counted? They imagine that. They got it counted and done in hours. We need months, weeks, days, I don't know, what do we need? We get these bogus mail outs that are just bizarre, and everybody I've spoken to, only one person out of their household has gotten it. So what was that? And I have so many things today. I'd also like to bring up 2 years ago, 3 maybe, coming here, and everybody who's here now, or those that have left, were mask Nazis, social distancing Nazis, and now we just have Fauci come out and speak in front of Congress and say, it just rose organically. I don't know where we got those numbers, those names or anything, but boy, you folks were determined to force us into the fat face diapers. There is something so wrong when your own county commission works against everything that the good, solid people of this county want. They come and speak in front of you, and you look at us, and you got these blank stares, and then you do what you want in the end anyway, and I'm 100%, Jeannie Herman deserves everything. And what a fabulous gal, and shame on all of you who don't bother to give her the time of day. Thank you.
Tracy Thomas, Oliver, good night. Psalms 46:2, God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in distress. It was very disappointing to watch our last meeting and the all too quick dismissal of the invocation simply for the fact that not one of you were brave enough to step out of your comfort zone to invite God into your meeting. God does not go where he is not invited. The invocation is simply a sincere conversation with God. It doesn't require any special title or degree. Anyone can do it. Mr. Edwards, Jan, Even the security guards could do it. You simply have to put aside your own self-focus to ask God for His will to be done, to ask Him how you can honor Him with your words and actions, and to be an encouragement for others. I ask that next time when you are afraid, that you ask Him for the courage to do so. For when you are weak, He is strong. Ask Him for the words, because words have power. You can use them to build each other up or tear each other down, like the gentleman this morning. We often underestimate the impact of our words. Are yours rooted in doubt, fear, insecurity? Or do they come from truth, goodness, and a security in God's promises? As God's child, you have been given freedom in Christ to choose and use words wisely. So today, choose words of life. May your tongue be an instrument of blessing as you declare what is true, pure, admirable, and praiseworthy. That's from Philippians 4:8. One of you have chosen to use your tongue to publicly false statements about me. I pray that the Lord opens your eyes to the wicked that many of us have watched manipulate you for their own propaganda. I invite you to take my words as a voice of encouragement, not judgment. I also noted the generous donation of Narcan kits to the Juvenile Services Department. Is anyone the least bit alarmed at the number of those kids? 73. What's going on in our schools? What are we doing to help deter the need for those to begin with? Have any of you asked that? Most importantly, Commissioner Herman is the only member of this board who has earned the chair position. Some give lip service to not voting based on politics, but voting for someone simply because you served together on another board is voting based on politics. I pray that you vote righteously and not politically. Commissioner Herman is more than worthy of the chair position. She may not be perfectly polished, but she is real. It's quite frankly why we all like her. Ms. Drysdale's public slander of her must be addressed promptly and severely. An employee like that would not have remained under Katie Simon. Richard Van Dyne, followed by Janet Butcher.
Good morning. My name is Richard Van Dyne. I'm a resident of Northern Sparks. I'm right at the edge of Spanish Springs. I'm in District 4. I am here my very first time to address anybody politically. But my first concern is with the Commissioner for District 4. I understand the Commissioner was appointed by the governor of the state of Nevada, I'm sorry. And I feel that that shouldn't even be something that should happen, ever. That should be something for the county to take care of. I'm disappointed in the commissioner. I understand that the commissioner is a rhino, Republican in name only. I feel that that person either needs to reconsider their political affiliation and go the right way rather than deceiving and lying to the people out in District 4, which is a very strong conservative area. I'm getting involved and I'm going to work very hard to keep it that way. I either ask the person to either resign, or when the elections come up, we will do all we can as your employer, because all of you get voted into your positions unless you're appointed. That makes you our employees. We are the taxpayers. You're supposed to be considering us more than you do. So we can fire you during the election by putting somebody else in there. Also need to have a more balanced, somehow, we've got to get to all the districts, and we need to get balance in the board. It can't be weighed one side or the other. We've got to try to keep it balanced. If we don't keep it balanced, we're going to be destroyed like the rest of this country is going right now. That prayer this morning just goes to show Satan is trying to take over this country. We're not going to allow it as Christians. Item number 12J2 is for the replacement of a person who's leaving. And that should be something that I believe should be taken care of a little more considerately, to where we keep a balance and we don't get overloaded one side or the other. We've got to be able to learn how to work together. I thank you, appreciate it, and I will be back.
Janet Butcher, followed by Eric LaRude, and I do have a handout to distribute from Ms. Butcher. Good morning, Janet Butcher for the record. Please enter my comments into the record verbatim. First of all, I want to talk about the ballot, the PPP, the Presidential Preference Ballot. I want everybody to understand that there will be no delegates sent to the Republican National Committee from that ballot. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of money. There will be a caucus held on February 8th, and if you need information, call the Washoe GOP office, please. I'm going to speak about the consent items. I've talked about this before. The problem is you put all of these things together, you have one vote, and you only allow a person to speak one time for 3 minutes on maybe 3 items, maybe 10 items. So if you take a look, I kind of categorized them. It makes sense. You remember that game we used to play? One of these things don't belong together. Why would you vote on a monetary issue, also vote on a report having nothing to do with money? And like today, we have things for the ROV. I'm hoping that the 2 items for the ROV are separated out and not globbed together underneath the consent item. I tried to do that with my husband, but he caught it pretty quick that I was getting a new fur coat or something. But it makes sense to just kind of, I know you guys are trying to expedite the meetings, but is expediting the meeting more important than hearing from the voices of the people and actually separating this stuff out? It just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I'll be back up to talk more on 12J1 and 12J2. Thank you.
Thank you.
Eric LaRue, followed by Ashton West.
Good morning. Dear Commissioners, my name is Eric LaRue. I live in downtown Reno. I am a longtime Washoe County resident. I was born and raised here. I am a lawyer and a businessman. My wife Stephanie and I founded the Reno Top Odyssey Relay, which is a running event, special event that showcases our region to our community and to people from outside of our community. I'm very involved with downtown Reno issues. I serve on the board of the Downtown Reno Partnership. Stephanie was in your Washoe County Leadership Program last year and enjoyed that experience. Stephanie and I raised our 2 sons in Reno. We have a lot of family and friends here. In short, Stephanie and I care deeply about our community. I want to commend all of you for your commitment to public service, serving as county commissioners. It was a challenging job. I'm here today regarding 2 items on your agenda. Number 6 about your next chair, number 12J2 about who will be the interim registrar of voters. Let me digress for a moment. I am concerned about the vocal minority of people from our county who show up at your various public meetings, who are rude and intimidating and even mean to people and disrupt normal government operations. I don't see that they show up with open minds and a reasonable attitude and approach, trying to constructively help find solutions to complex problems. I also want to thank Jamie Rodriguez for her service as the registrar. I am sorry that she decided to resign as we head into a very busy year in the elections department. As you know, she stepped up when the prior registrar resigned due to receiving death threats. It is so dangerous and sad when some people are so acting this way. And I think it's very unfortunate that Mr. Beatles has sued Mr. Rodriguez as well as Commissioner Hill and the county manager about the 2020 presidential election. It has been determined that there is no merit to his claims, yet he continues to pursue his extreme, unfounded agenda. I ask that you select Commissioner Hill or Commissioner Garcia as your next chair. Each of them has demonstrated they are open-minded, they take the position seriously, they prepare sufficiently for all the issues, they exhibit critical thinking, skills that the job requires. I have my concerns about whether Commissioner Herman and Clark are the right people for this important role. They seem to always agree with the vocal, disruptive minority, only concerned about what is best for them, but not for the whole community. And I would also endorse Carrie Ann Burgess. I think she will carry on what's supposed to be done. Finally, I call on all Washoe County residents to remember that we have more in common than we are different. Goodbye. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.
Afshawn West, followed by Jennifer Willett.
Good morning, esteemed members of the Board of County Commissioners. My name is Ashan West, and I am the Executive Director of Safe Embrace. Today, I stand before you not only as a representative of our organization, but also as an advocate for the countless lives we strive to impact positively. First and foremost, allow me to express our deepest gratitude for your generous donation of $10,000. This contribution is not just a monetary gift. It is a beacon of hope for those caught in the harrowing cycle of domestic and sexual violence. In Nevada, we face a daunting challenge, with our state ranking 4th highest in domestic violence rates nationally. This stark reality underscores the urgency and necessity of our mission. At Safe Embrace, we are dedicated to breaking this vicious cycle through comprehensive prevention and intervention programs. Our approach includes a range of services, from a confidential emergency shelter and a 24-hour crisis hotline to legal advocacy, support groups, and much more. This donation from the Board of County Commissioners is a vital lifeline. It enables us to bridge the gap in essential services, offering stabilization and relocation assistance that many victims desperately need. We understand that escaping an abusive situation is a monumental task, often hindered by societal stigma and financial barriers. Our aim is to help empower survivors towards self-sufficiency, helping them rebuild their lives independent of their abusers. With your support, we plan to enhance our stabilization services, providing direct emergency financial assistance to those on the brink of homelessness due to domestic violence, sexual assault, or human trafficking. This includes aid for utility bills, rent, and groceries. Additionally, we will bolster our efforts in offering safe shelter and relocation assistance, covering transportation and moving costs and deposit aid. At Safe Embrace, transparency and accountability are paramount. We meticulously track all services and financial expenditures through our internal databases, Apricot and QuickBooks Online, managed by iBailey. Rest assured, documentation of how every dollar is spent will be available upon request. Your contribution goes beyond financial assistance. It is a testament to your commitment to our community. It reinforces the belief that together we can make a significant difference in the lives of those affected by domestic and sexual violence. Your donation is not just helping us maintain our services, it is enabling us to grow and reach more individuals in need. In conclusion, thank you for believing in our cause and for being an integral part of our journey towards creating a safer, abuse-free community. Your support is invaluable, and we are deeply grateful for your trust and generosity. Thank you.
Jennifer Willett, followed by Caroline Grossman.
Good
morning. My name is Jennifer Willett, and I'm the Nevada Grassroots Manager at All Voting is Local Action, an organization that exists to expose and dismantle threats to voter freedom in order to make voting safe, fair, and accessible, to build a democracy for us all. I'm speaking on item 12G2. I'd like to begin by expressing my gratitude to Jamie Rodriguez for her tenure as Washoe County's Registrar of Voters. During her time in this role, she increased the transparency of the election process, doubled the staff, and championed legislation aimed at expanding voting access for historically marginalized communities across the state. Nevadans need officials to protect and expand democracy in our state, and we were lucky to have Jamie. In light of her resignation, Washoe County needs a successor with a strong commitment to ensuring ballot access for all Nevadans and protecting our right to vote. We at Able Action Nevada support the interim appointment of Carrie Ann Burgess into this role. With 6 years of experience as an election administrator, she has the expertise to ensure that our elections are run fair and smoothly. I'd like to conclude by emphasizing the significant turnover in election officials across the state since the last presidential election. In 11 of Nevada's 17 counties, top election officials have left their positions. This means that 96% of Nevadans will vote in the upcoming presidential election run by a new election official. These turnover rates should be recognized as a potential crisis in our democracy, especially as election officials have cited harassment, death threats, lack of trust due to election conspiracies, burnout, and more. It is crucial that we support our election officials, and I strongly urge the Commission to work with our Office of Registrar of Voters in identifying and implementing strategies to support them. Thank you.
Caroline Grossman, followed by Val White.
Good morning, Washoe County Commissioners. My name is Caroline, and I am speaking on behalf of progressive leaders in Washoe County devoted to voter engagement through organizing around issues that benefit working class Nevadans. Today, we are here commenting on the upcoming appointment of the interim registrar of voters, and I would just like to emphasize the importance of the registrar of voters' role in relation to upholding the principles of democracy. As professionals devoted to voter contact and education, we believe it is of utmost importance that the registrar of voters possesses the necessary skills and expertise to ensure the smooth and effective functioning of our democratic processes. The role of the registrar of voters is crucial in upholding the principles of democracy, and the person appointed should be well-versed in electoral procedures, voter engagement, and the intricacies of the electoral system. That said, we are taking this time to thank Jamie Rodriguez for her conscious efforts to uphold democracy during her tenure as the Washoe County Registrar of Voters. And in her role, Rodriguez made several impacts on voter access in Washoe County, increased staffing in the Registrar of Voters office, and established accountability in the democratic process. Democracy thrives when there's transparency, accessibility, and integrity in our electoral processes. The Registrar of Voters plays a pivotal role in safeguarding these principles, and appointing an individual without the appropriate experience could jeopardize the integrity of our elections. That said, we accept the appointment of Carrie Ann Burgess as the interim Registrar of Voters. She has enough experience in the administrative side of elections to hold down the fort temporarily for the Washoe County Registrar of Voters office. We urge the Washoe County Commissioners to prioritize competence and expertise in the selection of the permanent Registrar of Voters. A qualified and knowledgeable individual will not only enhance the efficiency of the electoral process, but will also instill confidence in our community, reinforcing our commitment to a strong and vibrant democracy. Thank you for your attention to this matter. We trust that you will make a decision that upholds the values of democracy and serves the best interests of the residents of Washoe County. Have a great day. Thank you.
Val White, followed by Cliff Nellis.
One, free speech means I'm not limited to using vocabulary you personally approve of or can emotionally handle. You do not get to redefine words such as free or respect or even rude. You cannot dictate to me what is civil or how I should deliver my comments or to whom. It's obvious that too many of you And some members of the public were asleep when you were taught what the First Amendment really is. 2, the interim ROV position must be reopened. We can surely do better than hiring a patently unqualified, unknown person for the job. The person Mr. Brown is trying to slam into the position via block vote. I know why. It's because the puppet master is already installed in the county and will actually direct the show and do the job. Ms. Burgess doesn't meet even the most basic qualifications for the job, yet you're considering hiring her? You previously declined to hire a 20-year county employee with a decade of experience and who exceeded all qualifications, yet you're hiring Ms. Burgess? Shady, shady, shady. I'm sure all will eventually be revealed, just as Manager Brown's shady manipulations with his wife's drunk driving escapade and his own driving under the influence. Which leads me to the next item. We all learned what a hoax is from the COVID hoax. Let me enlighten you. It's a clear hoax that election threats are made to election employees. It's funny how it's always cited, but the evidence is never delivered. Don't believe it. They are not afraid and they are not being threatened. 4, or next, why would this board continue to employ a county manager so ill-suited for the job? You have plenty of reasons to terminate him. Unethical behavior complaints, incompetence, personal irresponsibility, and the list goes on. Your fitness for the job as a commissioner is reflected in who you allow to work for the county, and so far 3 of you commissioners are demonstrating similar incompetence and unethical behavior. County manager, county library director, who else is there? Next, Gene Herman is the only choice for a chair of this board. The consistently partisan positions of Mary Luce and Hill dictate their inability, your inability, to serve this county's citizens. I urge this board to immediately terminate Mr. Brown, reject Ms. Burgess, reopen the applications for interim ROV, elect Gene Herman for chair of this board, and to cease with the political maneuverings you are doing by bringing in satanic invocations. It was absolutely planned. It failed.
Hello, my name is Cliff Nellis, 48-year resident of Washoe County, and before that, 13-year resident of Clark County. And I just wanted to make my own comments here today. First of all, I'm really offended you brought a Satanist in here. That's not really a religion. But, okay. Beyond that, I'd like to recommend our person of the highest seniority, Mrs. Herman, for the job of commission chair. I mean, she is highly qualified. I'm amazing how dedicated a person she is, and that she's been doing this for who knows how long. And it's just, I would really recommend you folks to vote for her. She would be perfect for the job, and she's very gracious too towards everybody on all sides. The next thing is, you know, Mr. Brown, I've told you guys before, this whole election place here, the ROV, is nothing but a Democrat operation. We need to change that. And you know, Mr. Brown does not represent anyone else, independent, libertarian, or Republican, in this county. He's an activist, and you got a bunch of them behind us here, and then making false accusations against us of threatening officials, which we don't do, and then that's some law we tried to pass that we couldn't, you know, whatever. But the point is, we need a real change, and we have a very qualified person here in the form of Tracy Thomas, who might not run for a certain office if she was appointed. So, and I think that would show that the commission is not controlled by Mr. Brown. And we found out Mr. Scott controls the library board, or did, and probably still does to some degree. But it's apparent to me that this guy runs the whole county. And I don't think that you guys as our representatives should allow that. And you know, you should be disqualified by the drunk driving thing by itself. You know, and his wife and all that, using his power to get her off the hook and all that. But the worst thing that he's doing is he's taking away from us the right to vote, to have a real election. And these folks behind us, they think democracy? First of all, we're not a democracy, we're a constitutional republic. We must have a constitution for the state of Nevada. And what they mean by democracy is they mean stealing the vote from all the rest of us. They don't even mean democracy. They don't even know what a democracy is. I mean, if we don't have a vote, we have a system with the George Soros Elections Group, giving recommendations, and you guys paying all that money for them to rig our elections again? I can't tolerate this. I can't. I don't think that citizens of Washoe County can tolerate it either.
George Lee, followed by James Benton.
George Lee, precinct 6202. I rise today in support of Jeannie Herman as chairman. The last guy covered it. Okay.
Thank you. James Benton, followed by Patty Kress. James Benton.
James Benton, for the record. Could you please put my comments in the permanent record? I'm here to support Jeannie Herman as the new chair for the Washoe County Commission. I want to explain how I see this happening. If you have a balance scale with 2 weights on the right side, 2 weights on the left side, it will be balanced. There'll be no movement. But if you add 1 more weight to the balance, then there will be a change. I'm encouraging a change, a vote for Jeannie Herman. I want to try to explain how I feel about this. There was a family traveling on a lonely road, and they were attacked by thieves and robbers. The parents were beaten almost to death, the children kidnapped. A priest came by, saw the beaten parents, thought about this, thought that it was a dangerous spot, and decided to hurry home for a hot dinner, comfortable bed, and a good night's sleep. Then a Levite passed by. He saw the scene, and he also thought, well, he wanted to hurry home for a warm dinner and a good night's sleep. Then a third person came by, stopped, looked, and considered what to do. This person thought about what to do. Help the parents, take them to the next town where the senior citizens might help them. But many of these were on limited incomes and wouldn't be able to. Or take them to the care center, but that would be unsafe. Or take them to the north, but there were problems with E. coli, leukemia. Third person was thinking, but that person wasn't alone. Up in the sky, there were heavenly spirits watching what was going on. They were waiting. One saw the person and said, oh, that person has an R on their back for right actions. So they were waiting to see what would happen. This commission has the same opportunity to do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Patty Kress, followed by Matthew Wilkie. Patty Kress.
Hi, my name is Patty Kress, and I've never spoken before this commission before. I want to thank you for all being on the Commissioners Board. I wanted to make my comments about the appointment of Carrie Ann Burgess as an interim to the voters. She doesn't, I have over 25 years of HR experience, and part of my job was hiring qualified, experienced candidates. And after reviewing her background, it does not appear she has that information in her background or qualifications, and I would encourage the commission to reopen that and to look for qualified applicants for that. I highly agree that Tracy Hilton Thomas does have the qualified experience and knowledge to be in that position and to run a rightful election in this community. And the second item I wanted to bring up was item number 6, that I fully support Jeannie Herman as being chairman of this commission and inclusion. I totally believe in the freedom of religion. However, I am totally appalled that this group would actually ask the satanic worshiper to lead this group, which apparently I rebuke in the name of Jesus Christ, that those words have no power over this commission, and I would encourage you to not ask someone like that in the future. Thank you.
Matthew Wilkie, followed by Tony Jacobs.
Good morning, Chair, members of the commission, partners, members. I'm here this morning because 135 people are dead. 135 Nevada and Washoe County residents are dead, which is a 36% increase in last year's houseless numbers from 2022. Despite the commission and the county, commission touting a 50% decrease in houselessness. This inconsistency is unacceptable. People cannot be counted in these houseless numbers if they are dead. Moreover, every shelter in overflow space in this county is at or over capacity. It is unacceptable that while this crisis persists, members of this commission have been on a multi-state media tour touting the success of our efforts in addressing houselessness. This does not reflect the real-life reality of people living in our streets. Additionally, the Community Homeless Advisory Board, I'm bringing it up again, has essentially been dissolved. The last meeting was in September. The chair of that board basically eliminated all community involvement by doing so. How can you have a community involvement with a community board addressing community issues without community input? We expect the county commission to do better to address the houselessness community and listen to those with lived experience and not just those giving you the data. Listening to people just giving you the data is a problem. Staff comes up here and says everything is wonderful, yay, give us stars, and you listen to them. When this is not the reality of people living in the shelter. I spend time with those people, I talk to them, and literally the things that I hear keep me up at night. That is why I know that many of you don't actually spend time with those people at the shelters and are only listening to staff. Furthermore, before I leave, I would like a staff member to show me exactly where on the county's website the county has this data for this houseless count. It was mentioned that it was on the website. I even saw a county commissioner give a website that it was posted at. I scoured that website and nowhere could I find that data, despite me scouring all over the place. But one thing I will say that is on your county website is that the CHAB still meets quarterly, which that is not accurate, so that does need to be updated. I would appreciate a staff member showing me this data where it actually claims the 50% drop in houselessness. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Tony Jacobs, followed by Julie Adams.
Hello, my name is Tony Jacobs. This is my first time coming to these meetings and actually speaking. First of all, I'm the single dad of a special needs child. I work, I go to school, I take care of him. And I'm also a proud member of the Culinary Union here in Reno. We also live downtown in a small studio apartment. I want to go on to say that 135 individuals died, which is up 36%. I want to say that again. 135 people died who didn't have to die, and they died on the county's watch. Whether it was from overdose, murder, suicide, assaults, or whatever, it happened. The shelters are over capacity. My son and I see it every night. The county and the city decided to put services needed over a mile away from where we're essentially located in downtown Reno. Most of these services disabled people cannot access because of lack of transportation. Alexis Hill and the rest of the board members of CHAB should be ashamed of themselves. These people do not care what happens to our houseless population, and it's showing. With the lack of CHAB meetings, which were supposed to be monthly then quarterly, now it seems like it's whenever they want. These people who we hired and who voted for gave up. 135 people who shouldn't have died. I also want to mention that it's sick support to the sheriff when he stated that he was willing to arrest and jail homeless people for being homeless, for not going to the shelter. Who would want to go to CARES campus when it's full of lice, black mold, salts, sexual assaults, drugs, and alcohol? With this last snowstorm, where were the emergency shelters? There were none. Why were people waiting for a bed at CARES campus not allowed to use a table to get a nap in? This last snowstorm, my special needs child, who has a mental capacity of an 8-year-old, spent all this Christmas money and allowance to get blankets, warm blankets, tarps, hand warmers, and food, just to feed the groups of homeless people we saw huddled in the alleys where we live, downtown Reno. Also, it's shame on the county and the sheriff's office for not upholding the law when Eric Brown and his wife has been, it's been known and shown that they have been drinking and driving, and at one point, Eric Brown's wife blew over 4 times the legal limit and even had a small accident and did not face any jail time. So in closing, I want to say that 135 people died who do not need to die.
Julie Adams, followed by Drew with no last name.
Good morning. Thank you for letting me give my comments. I'm Julie Adams for the record. I worked at the polls at the last election, and many came to voice concerns here, as I did. There's very good reason that there are many lawsuits regarding the last election. The ROV has an excellent candidate to take over, but she seems to be in the process of being moved over in favor of someone with little experience. So I would like to ask that Tracy Thomas be appointed interim registrar of voters due to her experience that qualifies her to lead the ROV. I just am wondering if Eric Brown has our best interest at heart. It just does not seem like that would be the case. We support Jeannie Herman for her position, for the position of chair. She has the experience, knowledge, and wisdom to lead this board. I am in District 4 and would like to support Clara Andrioli if she would support us in the wishes of her constituents. I'm very sad that the Church of Satan gave opening prayers. We are obviously in a spiritual battle. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Drew, followed by Rich Bissett.
Good morning, my name is Drew, and I am not an alcoholic. But my father is, my sister is, my grandfather died from liver cirrhosis. In my professional career, I have cleaned up thousands of drunk driving accidents, dealt with innumerable people that were dead. We have laws against this to protect the people. We're told growing up that those in office, those in government, are held to a higher standard. What is this higher standard? My cousin was an elected official in this county for many, many years. Her brother got DUIs and he got convicted. Why do we have 2 tiers of justice? We talk about DEI, racial this, racial that, and all of this exclusion. I don't believe in that BS. You know why? Our county manager's family is much like my family. You sit down at Christmas time or whatever holiday you may get together for, certainly not some satanic holiday, and you look around your dinner table, and my family is a myriad of people. I think the difference between all of us is some of us have power in government and are not subject to the laws, not subject to the consequences of their actions, can go around and harm other people, and there is no consequence. But yet, if you're a normal person, let's go to take you to the judge, let's go put you up in Par Boulevard, let's go have a catfish sandwich or whatever the heck it is. So, I understand the addictive personality and the nature of what it is. It's a very selfish and self-centered type of a personality. I would suggest going to some AA classes, going and learning, standing up there and talking about your life. Stop harming other people with your actions. There's a reason that this is against the law. There's a reason since our term of life back in the 70s and the 80s, it wasn't such a big crime. Then it got regulated a bit, and now the blood alcohol is down to 0.8. But if we blow 4 times more than that, we got no consequence. Why is there no consequence for the people that work for us? Let me tell you a story. I got a business. Today I had a bad morning. I had to go fire somebody I liked. I had to fire him because I got an addiction issue. Fire Jeff Scott, fire Eric Brown. They're both not good for the county. Thank you.
Rich Bissett, followed by Johnny Hammond.
Good morning, Madam Chairwoman and Commissioners. So, gosh, I'm here to thank you for presenting DRI today with their presentation. I'm looking forward to that. And I wanted to ask you to do more of that because we need the scientific community to weigh in on our climate change issues. The increased heat in the summer, that's not gonna go away, it's not gonna moderate. We have to continue to worry about water. I've lived in Reno when I could walk across the Truckee easily, just a trickle in the summer, one summer. I really do appreciate you taking concerns about the climate seriously. I'd love to see more of these presentations, and I can't wait to see the one today. I also, boy, I guess I came on the wrong day, but I just have to say, there's all these people coming up to the mic claiming to be religious and then acting in a very non-Christ-like manner. And it's very interesting. I don't think they're going to get many converts. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Johnny Hammond, followed by Sandy Tibbet.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Johnny Hammond. Before I get to my prepared remarks, I'd like to make a few comments about some of the speakers that have been out here today. It's really interesting to me that one of the speakers talked about many of us in the audience as being people that threaten government officials and were violent. But if you note, the people that bring that up, they don't bring up examples. Why didn't he give any examples if we're all threatening and we're bringing violence to the county commission meetings? What is it that it's a common theme nationwide that the liberals want to make the folks on the right side be the criminals, when in fact, if you look at criminal behavior, it actually is the liberals on the left. And as far as what this gentleman right before me said, that the Christians aren't very Christian-like because we have morals, because we have an ability to judge others as Christ judged us and will judge us. It's just, again, another threatened person that obviously doesn't feel very capable or competent themselves. And then they need to threaten people like Mr. Beatles, who is just trying to look for elections that are competent and run properly. If you look nationwide again, there are election cases that are being overturned now because there are actually judges and government officials looking at the evidence. If you never look at the evidence, you're not going to see the evidence as far as the crooked elections. Now to my prepared remarks. I urge you to vote for Jeannie Herman for chair. She's honest, she's trustworthy, she's hardworking, she's knowledgeable. She's willing to work with anybody, regardless if you're on the left or the right. She's experienced. Please vote for Jeannie Herman.
Sandy Tibbet, followed by Valerie Bianca.
Sandy Tibbet for the record. Reno should rebrand with a new slogan that reads, "The biggest corrupt county in the world." Our county is an organized criminal syndicate and is being run by corrupt public servants who think they are above the law. They care only about their careers, their bank accounts, and executing the perfect cover-up of their crimes to stay in power and out of jail. They've neglected our community while profiting off the backs of our homeless, our seniors, our veterans, and all Washoe County taxpayers. Our streets are littered with garbage, with stolen and abandoned vehicles, with shopping carts and homeless camps. Crime is completely out of control, as evidenced by the number of posts on Nextdoor. Do you know what's happening in your community? Do you care? The lifeblood of our once vibrant downtown Reno has been decimated by public servants who have put their political agendas and greed ahead of the health of our community. And Sparks, it smells like a sewage plant. Nothing makes a rib taste better than the smell of sewage. Our once beautiful and welcoming county is filthy and it's scary. Even our judicial system has been weaponized with lawfare being used against community members who have loads of evidence of election fraud. And they are exposing the truth, and you don't like that, obviously. Our courts are tools being used by corrupt judges and DAs to cover up their crimes against humanity, to cover up the election fraud, to cover up their murder for hire and probate theft.